Emisión.net.
Hello again and welcome to Letter from England, broadcasting for AC Press and the Spanish Evangelical Alliance. My name is Jonathan Dawson. A week in politics, they say, is a long time. But this week, politics dominates the news from an evangelical perspective. Our leading article in AC Press this week is entitled "Doing Politics in the Service of God," as the first meeting for evangelicals involved or interested in political participation took place in Barcelona recently with about 50 people in attendance. Organised by the Independent Civic Observatory, a group set up to support those who wish to participate in public life. The meeting was also joined by Julia Doxat-Purser, socio-political representative at the European Union for the European Evangelical Alliance. Also there was Manuel Suarez, vice chairman of the observatory, and he says the numbers wanting to be at the meeting prove there is a growing interest among evangelicals for involvement in public life. Among others present were local councillors, trade union officials, members of political parties and civil servants. Suarez says the aim of the observatory is to help create a support network for the increasing numbers of believers who want to have a voice in society, but to show them that this must be done with a recognition for the sovereignty of God. Its aim is not to tell people who they should vote for, but to give them the tools they need to participate in a Christian way. He adds that the group hopes to show Christians of different political beliefs that they have something more important in common and can therefore support each other in their public life. Indeed, the only commitment made by all observatory members is that they submit whatever political affiliation they have to God's service. The observatory came to prominence last year with a report on religious freedom, and this year's report is on health and has been gathering the different emphases given this topic by the various political parties. Part of the report is devoted to an analysis of how well the government of the day has fulfilled its electoral promises in this area. Suarez explains the principle. He says, "We all need democratic control because power can corrupt anyone, as we are all sinners. It comes from the continual need to be accountable." The group is also working on the theological framework which should govern all Christian participation in politics and public life. It hopes to be able to formalise links with all the major political parties, and thus far has had contact with the government's Religious Affairs Department, the Justice Ministry, and Ana Pastora, an MP with the opposition Popular Party. Also, the observatory is working on a number of specific projects. It's just produced a booklet entitled "Vote Wisely" in conjunction with the Spanish Evangelical Alliance, and is working on another called "Stop the Traffic" to do with the sexual exploitation of women and children. Well, while Christians are getting more involved in politics and debating how they should approach the forthcoming general election, due of course next week in Spain, and also how they should vote, the politics of prayer have been in the news. Well, prayer has never been easy, and a major prayer event called Spain Prays for Spain, and due to be held on March the 1st, has been caught in the media glare because of claims that it is projected against government policy. Event organisers deny this rigorously, but a nationalistic flavour is indeed to the fore. Add in the difficult distinction between a demonstration and a national prayer meeting or event, from the government's or from the authorities' point of view, of course, plus the fact that the event is being held just a week before a general election and a powerful cocktail is served. The Spanish flag waves permanently on the organisers' website, while the writing is with yellow letters set against a red background. The problem is that such symbols and presentations are common among right-wing political groups, something the prayer organisers perhaps did not take into consideration, but something the media and other observers have picked up on as a sign that the movement is trying to pull people's vote to the right. Well, these are tense enough times in church-state relations anyway, due to the conflict between the socialist government and the Catholic leadership, which means that any sort of public demonstration by Christians is a cause of great concern, the more so with an election just around the corner. Then there's the motto of the prayer event, an initiative to see Spain changed by the power of God, which hardly suggests a call for the continuation of the status quo. Indeed, the event website talks about the moral ills of the nation: easy divorce, homosexual marriage, more liberal abortion laws, linked to legislation brought in by the political left, though apparently these links are no longer available on the website. Well, all of this, of course, has led some secular journalists to interpret the prayer event as a call to vote for right-wing parties and as an event of direct opposition to the governing Socialist Party. Well, despite the controversy, one of the organisers, evangelical pastor Máximo Álvarez, says the event is not political, but a meeting to pray for the good of the country, and he denies there is any intention of aligning themselves with one particular political line. He says that more than 200 evangelical churches from all over Spain, out of a total of around 2,500, have pledged their support for the event, as have a further 70 from around 30 other countries. And they are due to gather in Madrid on March the 1st to ask God that His will be done in this nation. The Federation of Evangelical Organisations says it has been informed of the event and supports it, as it has always supported initiatives which promote united prayer among the churches. Their spokesman explained that they warned the organisers to be careful not to let the act become politicised. Quote, "Praying for the authorities should not be seen as a political act, but as something Christians habitually do, in accordance with what the Bible teaches, and not just something we do in the run-up to an election." That was a Federation spokesman. Meanwhile, Alvarez says that changing Spain by the power of God has nothing whatsoever to do with political change, but through knowledge of the gospel of Jesus, which comes by faith. These are interesting political times. Difficult ones, perhaps, for evangelicals, but also ones of great opportunity to participate wisely. Thank you for listening to Letter from England. Goodbye for now.
Emisión.net